Hello everybody, this is Tasha once again with another video, and I'm happy to be here today. It's been a while since I uploaded, by the way, and today we are going to talk about introduction into the gates. So we are going to talk basically about the gates. As I term it, the gates, I basically mean spiritual gates, not physical gates. In terms of physical gates, we can talk of a case where you have your gates in your compound before you get into your compound or at workplace, and things get in and out of that gate, either good things or bad things. So it can be when thieves get in and they bring destruction, or good things come in and they bring progress. So it depends what has been permitted in and out of the gates. So today I'll focus majorly on one gate. That's why it's a broad topic, but I'm going to major on one at the moment. So that is going to be the mind. So the scripture tells us that as a man thinketh, so is he. And if this is the case, it means that there was some study that was being conducted, and they say that kids, when a child is being born, from that time the child is born up to around 7 years old, everything that happens in their lives is like it's being programmed up to that time, and then it's like it's being programmed into their mind. It's something that is getting in, and it's somehow going to control the rest of their life. And from 7 years up to the remaining days of his life, it happens that the things that he learns from then he learns them through repetition. So it's not like they were instilled in him earlier, but it's something that they learn because it has been repeated continuously until it gets into them. So this clearly tells you that how you perceive things, how you take things, how you think will determine your life, will determine your future, because this is where all things begin. Before you even think of everybody, even if you want to create a family, even if you want to have a family, you have to think it. It's not just something that will come into being like that. It's something that has to be planned. It has to be well thought of. You have to think over it. Yeah. Okay, this clearly tells us that the mind is a gate. So if the mind is a gate, it's like Christ, when Christ came into the world, we are being told like we need to have the mind of Christ. And for you to have the mind of Christ, it means you have to change your dimension of thinking from the regular you plus the devil's thinking. We need to change our way of thinking from the regular you and the devil to Christ thinking, the way he thinks. And if you want to know this is something that is real, we have a case of Enoch where we are being told that he walked with God until he was normal. It's not a situation where he was walking like this, just walking with God until he was normal. It's not that case. It means he had aligned his thoughts, he had aligned his mind into the mind of God to an extent that God took over everything. Like God took control over everything. He was more of a percentage of him and God. It means maybe he was around 30%, God was 80 or 70%, the remaining bit of it. It's like God took over, and God took over to an extent that he was no more. He was no more, it means he was no more physical. He changed into the spiritual. He changed dimensions, and that is why they say he was normal. So we are going to look into this. So that was the case with Enoch. But now when it comes to us in this generation, we are a people who have gradually been captured by the world. The scripture tells us do not be conformed to the standards of this world, but that is the case. People have been conformed. You are more of thinking of everything in terms of technology, thinking of everything physically, You are not thinking of the spiritual dimension of it. So it's like you've closed out the spiritual element of you during the day. The only thing that still connects you to the spirit realm, that you can sense that this is the spirit realm, is just in your dream. So it means you've moved further. You've deviated from the way normal life should be. We are living more physically than living a whole life where you are growing spiritually, you are growing physically, you are growing in every dimension. But this one, now you are growing more physically and you are deviating much into it and forgetting the spirit realm. So why I think that the mind is really important is because if you look at it from the point of creation, when God wanted to create heaven and earth, he thought about it before he said, let's create man in our own image, let's do this. You see, before he did that, he thought about it. So a thought is a channel that God uses to communicate, and in human being it's the same way he uses to communicate with us. So it happens that this is one channel that God uses to communicate, and the devil too can also use it to communicate to you. And if God is going to use it to communicate to you, most of it is always telling you about his plans and is trying to make you bring them into life by either you thinking about it, you speaking it out and all that. And the devil also knows that the plans of God are real and they will come to pass, but they have a way of sabotaging things, either to delay it, either to make you doubt God, or to make you feel like God is not doing anything. So if God is going to bring in the good things through your mind, the devil who comes to steal, kill and to destroy still can use the same gate to bring something negative into your life. The things of God, they tend to be like, they don't come just all of a sudden. It takes a process. And the things of the devil, they are like immediately there it is, you have it. So some people say that the things of the devil, they come in quickly, and the things of God, they take time. So if the things of the devil come in quickly, it means that there's that plan that God had in mind. And then the devil comes and interferes with it, not really interfering with it, but with your mind, telling you that this is not going to happen, and is bringing something else into the picture. So these things that the devil brings are things either to destroy you, are things to kill the vision that God had for you, are things that are being used not for your good but for your destruction, because the devil will never have a good plan for you. So I have a feeling like we have seen that the devil uses this same root, this same mind to communicate to you. We can give an example of somebody who God has planned prosperity for them, and the devil obviously has the opposite plan, which is maybe poverty. And he's bringing it so fast, it's coming at a very high rate in your life, and it clouds your judgment to an extent that instead of proclaiming the things that will bring this prosperity into being, you are proclaiming the things that are exalting this that the devil has brought into your life. So you are talking like you're discouraged, you are doubting God, and all these things, when you put them all together, they cannot help you bring birth or birth whatever God wanted to bring forth. Unlike somebody whose mind is focused on Christ, this person will be focused on, yes, God said he's going to bring me prosperity. What is he saying again at this time? He's telling you maybe do not be discouraged. He's telling you to keep on believing in him. He's telling you write the vision down, run with it. It will come to pass at a certain point. That is what God might be saying. And yet the devil is speaking so loudly. He's telling you you are done. Things are not working, or the way everything is turning out, it just seems like God is not really in the picture. But yet he is in the picture. So this is for all of us who are on earth during this dispensation, or during, we call it, who are alive at this time. The problem with us, including me, if you've not aligned your mind to Christ totally, even the faith that you are claiming you have, you cannot be standing on it correctly. You'll be like, one moment you are having faith, the next moment the devil has shown you the other side of him. You feel like, hey, is this thing going to really work the way God is saying? So you are like, you are on this side one moment. When things get so bad, you are on this other side, on the devil's side. And on the devil's side are the negative things that you're thinking. So it means even your faith, it comes from the root of where is Christ positioned in your life? Where is God positioned in your life? Is it like he's controlling your mind, or the devil is the one in control of that mind? And the next thing you need to know is that God communicates in different ways with you through the mind. And in every communication, be it through dream or whichever way, he's still using your mind to communicate to you. But the underlying factors are, he never communicates something to bring you fear. He never communicates something to make you doubt. He never communicates something to make you uncertain. He never communicates anything that will make you feel like God does not even know how things will turn out. But the enemy will communicate the opposite. He will make you feel scared. He will make you feel like things will not work. And that is why things like depression, those are not the things that God ordained for you. It just means that you aligned your mind with the wrong person. You aligned your mind with the wrong person, and that is the devil. You permitted his thoughts to continuously build. And the funny thing with these thoughts, the more you ponder on it, the more it grows, the more it expands, the more it begins to take hold of you, to an extent that it's controlling you, even your mood. If you are thinking negatively, there is a high chance that even if your child comes to speak with you, you'll be responding negatively. You will not be happy with them. But if your thoughts were positive, you will be somebody who is happy. So the point that I'm trying to put across clearly here is that whatever you're thinking, whatever you've permitted through this gate of your mind to come in, is going to create something. It's going to birth something. It's going to conceive something into your life. And whatever it will conceive will be either something bad or good. So you have to be careful. Being careful, I mean you have to align your mind with Christ, the way he thinks, the way he wants you to be thinking. Because in the long run, the end results will be the outcome of what you've been consuming, the outcome of what you've been thinking about continuously. And it happens that for you to actually know clearly whether this is of God or this is of the devil, you have to be able to distinguish the two. And just know outrightly, the moment you start getting negative, know that that is not God. It's not him. And you switch back to now thinking the way God thinks. And for you to get back to that, it means that there are certain things that you have to develop as a culture in your life. It's like you can't say that you'll wake up one morning, yes, you are thinking negatively, and then you say, I will not think this way, I will not think like this, and it stops. Most of the time you will say that for 30 minutes tops. That is maximum. The remaining hours you'll be negative. And then you try to come back, and then you go back to your negativity. The only way that you can avoid this totally is know that, first of all, know that this is not of God, it's the devil speaking. And you know the plans that he has for you are not good. So if you realize that this is the devil, now you switch back and ask yourself, I am a child of God. The Spirit of God lives in me. What is the Spirit of God saying? What is the Spirit of God saying over this particular issue that I'm facing or that I'm thinking negatively about? The moment you turn you turn your mind to a point where you want to know what the Spirit of God is thinking, you have something to think about already. You are thinking like, what is God saying? So that already helps you to turn back until you get back to the right way of thinking. Now, Colossians 3 verse 2, it says that set your mind on things that are above, and not the things that are on earth. That clearly tells you that there are certain things that you need to think of, things that are above. They are not saying that they dream about angels, about heaven, about the seraphims, the cherubims, and all that. Some of the people take it that way, but basically, if you think of it clearly, is that you set your mind on Christ, set your mind on things concerning Him. Set your mind on things concerning Him. I'm not meaning that you have to think just about how you serve Him. It's align your mind to His mind. Align your mind to His mind, because you might be serving Him, but yet you are not aligned with Him. Your mind is somewhere. The devil is controlling your mind, and yet Christ is not controlling your mind. For that to happen, for you to be aligned with Christ, you have to continuously be aware of the fact that the Spirit of God lives in you, and the Spirit of God is the one to help you. He knows the depths of your mind. He knows the depths of God. So it means He's the one who can reveal to you the thoughts of God. He's the one who can make you know what is God thinking of this issue. What is God thinking at this time? What is God saying about this thing? So this clearly is supposed to tell you that in whatever thing you are going through, those are circumstances and things happening on earth. They are not supposed to be the way you are thinking. They are not supposed to be the things that govern your thinking. They are not supposed to govern how you perceive God, because they are things that are on earth. Now, if God is saying that He lifts up a standard of His Spirit, so it happens that you have to be in another dimension. You have to move to another level to think the way God is thinking. Yes, this is the situation on earth. This is the worldly thing that is going on. But what is happening in the spirit realm? What is God saying about the same thing? That is what most of us fail to find out. You only have the information from one side. That is from the enemy side. And it's very loud and obvious. It's very ugly, maybe in front of you, and you are like, this is it. This is what is happening. Why don't you find out what is happening on the other side? What is God saying on the other side? What is God trying to communicate to you? So in Philippians 4 verse 8, it tells us that think of those things that are lovely, honorable, commendable, just. Those are the kind of things that God wants you to think of, not the things that are going to pull you down. Because everybody I know at some point in your life, you've tried thinking negatively for some time and you've seen the results. Either you always end up feeling so bad, and it feels so bad to an extent that you even feel it in your system. This thing that I'm feeling myself with is not okay. You can feel it because it's like it's impacting in your life. It's changing your perception, and that was not how you were designed by God originally. It's like you are corrupting your system with these negative thoughts to an extent that you now produce something negative. That is not what God planned. But if you align yourself with the thoughts that God is thinking and continuously try to align yourself with the thought of Christ, it will reach a point where you'll be able to get information from Him with much ease. You'll be able to hear Him clearly. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.